Welcome, my friends. Here we are on the first edition of Dr. Dave's Cheap Ass Beer Reviews. Now, what is a cheap ass beer, you may ask? Well, doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad beer. It just means it's inexpensive. Yeah. So, first up on our list, for no particular reason, is Yuengling. Yuengling's located in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, and this is the Golden Pilsner. It checks in at 4.7% alcohol by volume, and for what I've been able to decipher on the bottom of the can, it's about 62 days old, so that's not old at all. Let me go ahead and wipe off the condensation on this, because I like to keep these types of beers relatively cold. You don't want these types of beers to get warm. If you allow these beers to get warm, they're going to be horrible. Yeah, so let's go ahead and pop this open. And I'm going to show you my special glassware I had custom made for this channel. No doubt about it. Dr. Dave's Cheap Ass Beer Reviews. It's a 14-ounce glass and it's a 16-ounce can. So we're not going to fit it all in there. You can do the math, right? No doubt. Now, I had this beer when it was first released probably around 3 years ago. Probably about 3 years ago. And I didn't think it was that bad. Now, the reason I'm going to classify it as a cheap-ass beer is because at my local store here, not on sale, it is $11.99 for a 12-pack. So that's $1 a can. That's some cheap-ass beer. You got to admit, $1 a can, that's cheap-ass beer. Now, of course, I know that in different parts of the country, you're going to say, well, I can get it for $9 or I can get it for $8. Well, you probably can. Yeah, I'm just using my local store here as an example. But I tell you one thing, Ohio has some very strange and weird alcohol laws. Matter of fact, a few years ago, we couldn't buy we couldn't buy beer in the state of Ohio that was above 12%. So if a brewery like Knee Deep out there in Auburn, California, they make quite a few 13 and 14%ers, they couldn't ship them here to Ohio. Now that law has gone bye-bye, and we can get beers, I don't know, I want to say up to 21% now. And Ohio has another strange law that you can't put beers on sale. So if you see beer on sale in the state of Ohio, that means that the store that's selling it on sale was selling it above the state minimum. There's a minimum amount that retailers must charge for beer, and so stores sometimes charge more than that so they can put it on sale and have the appearance of, hey, this beer's on sale. Anybody who's educated about beer in the state of Ohio knows that's a bunch of nonsense. So, anyway, our phone went down a little bit. Let's go ahead and fill her back up. I was running my mouth. It's a very beautiful golden color with a tinge of orange in there. It's lightly carbonated. It made a nice white head on it. And I don't remember anything about this beer. It's been 3 years, so I don't remember. But I want to thank the brewers at Yuengling. They do a lot of hard work, and they distribute now just about everywhere. Once upon a time, they didn't distribute in Ohio, and it was only about 150 miles from here, the brewery I'm talking about. So, yeah, they've come a long way in the last 20 years. Cheers to them, and cheers to you at home, no doubt. Now, I didn't tell you about the aroma on there, and that's my fault. But I don't taste a whole lot either. There's a definite aroma in there of light hops. You get some light hoppiness in there. I'm not sure what that other aroma is. It's not off-putting, but I can't quite identify it either. Now, drinking this is an experience for me because I'm used to drinking craft pilsners, and this definitely is not in that league. Not to say it's a bad beer, not to say that it has off flavors, not to say that it's off-putting in any way, but it's something different that I'm not quite accustomed to. I'm not sure what this is brewed with, but there's an aftertaste, and I mean that in not a nice way. On the back of my palate there, I'm not sure what that is. It's becoming a little more clear to me what's in this. It's very lightly hopped and some very light malts in here. A little bit of sweetness there in the mid palate. A little bit of sweetness. But the finish is not dry, and it's not clean, and it's not crisp. It's muddied with something in here. There's something muddling about in the beer. If you want something cold, and I hesitate to use that lawnmower cliche, but if you want something cold after a hot day, I guess that this would fit the bill. This beer is not for me. It's not for me. I know a lot of people out there like it. It's only 4.7%. And the trick with this beer, as with a lot of cheap ass beers, yeah, is you have to keep this beer cold. Now, just in the 5 minutes that I've been talking, I've had this in my hand and it's warmed up a little bit. Not to the point where it's undrinkable, but the colder that you keep this beer, the more chance that you will like the beer. That's going to be my opinion about this beer. As long as you keep that beer cold, you'll be just fine. Now, for guys who like to drink their beer straight down, that's not a problem. And that's why a lot of people have issues with alcohol. Yeah, and I'm not getting on my public service announcement. I'm not trying to make everybody look like they're a drunk, but these types of beers, you have to drink them fast, and if you don't, they're horrible. If I allowed that to sit here for 20 minutes and I came back, I would have horrible things to say about this beer. So drinking them fast is going to make you a little tipsy. Yeah. And another thing I don't like is when people drink straight from the can or straight from the bottle. If you drink this beer straight out of the can, you're not going to get to enjoy whatever aromas are in here because most of your taste is through the nose. Yeah, you smell what you are tasting. And if you're drinking it right out of the bottle or right out of the can, you can't hardly smell it. Now, granted, there's not a lot to smell in here, but nonetheless, that's the way it works. Almost like a little bit of a metallic lingering effect in here to me. Well, hey, that's the story on that beer. Would I buy that 12 pack and drink it? Absolutely not. Should you buy it and drink it? Absolutely. If you like this beer, you should enjoy it because life is too short not to enjoy what you like. Yeah. But I'm going to be doing a lot of these reviews and Dr. Dave's Cheap Ass Beer Reviews. Now, I'm going to put this middle of the road. I'm going to give it a 3 stars out of 5. That's how I'm going to rate these beers: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stars. 5 being the highest, 3 being middle of the road. This is not awful. This is not terrible. But again, it's not something that I'd rush out and buy if I went to a restaurant and I saw this on the menu. I think I'd have to pass it by. It is lightly carbonated, but the carbonation doesn't come through in the flavor. I'd have to put this to very light bodied. I'm not going to say it's watery, but it's very light bodied. And this will go with the backyard barbecue food, baby. Yeah. So if you want an inexpensive beer, this would be one of them. Yeah. Now there's beers out there a lot less money than this. I've seen 30 packs of beer at Walmart for $11.99. 30. I'm talking about 12 for this one. So we'll get to those beers too. Well, hey, thanks for watching, my friends. Cheers.